All right, y'all, this is day 1 with the ducks. If you watched my previous video on actually getting them, you'll know that we did not start with 3. We started with 4, went down to 2, and now we have 3 again because I went out to a local feed store and got a 3rd. This little guy right here is the 3rd. This one will not leave him alone. Like, I don't know if she just doesn't really like him or what. But anyways, I want to show you our brooder setup. So far it's working really well. We got one of these kind of heat plate type heat sources instead of the lamps because we are just in my bathroom. We didn't really want to figure out how to rig up the heat lamp, and it's fire hazard. This, like, I can touch and it's not going to even remotely burn me, but it's plenty warm for the ducklings. I'm just using a plastic tote, and then this is just a plastic paint tray, and this is I don't know, some kind of painting supply. It's a grate that I think is supposed to go in the paint can or on the paint can or something, but I put it in here, and that way when they drink and they eat, because they shake the food and the water everywhere, it just goes under. They've also been pooping on it a lot, so it just goes under. And then a tower for the food, and one of these waters for the water, because again, help to cut down on mess, because that was like basically the only con I found to getting ducklings over chicks, is the water mess. So I found this and it's working so far. The ducklings seem to be dealing with it just fine, drinking the water as you can see, eating plenty, going back for warmth when they need it. And yeah, so this is day 1. All right, welcome to day 2 of raising ducks. Yesterday we did go and get a 3rd duck from a local feed store, and I made the mistake of thinking, so it was the only black Swedish, the rest of them were Rouen ducks. Didn't really want any Rouen ducks, so when I saw it and it was by itself in the brooder with the Rouens, I was thinking, oh, it's just because the other ones probably all hatched together and this one hatched separately because it's a different breed. So that's probably why it's by itself. And it was very calm, still active. We saw it eat a couple times, it drank, found its way back to the heater. But now I don't know if this is actually a problem, but it would not stop peeping even when it was like sleeping. So it did not make it through the night. And we're thinking that there was something wrong with it already, and that even when it was like relaxed, it was peeping because I don't know if it was in pain or what, but we woke up and it had passed. So we just have the 2 now. We are going to get more, but I'm just gonna follow my instincts this time instead of thinking, oh, maybe it's just because it's already together, and make sure that I am picking healthy ducklings to bring home. So that's my main tip for today for duck ownership. But I'm gonna show you the ducks and what we've been doing today. So right now they're just eating, so I'm gonna let them eat. And then I'm gonna show you how we spend time with them so that they, you know, like us and like to be handled. This setup has been working wonderfully, that I showed you yesterday with this type of heat. It's not really a heat lamp, just heat source. I think sometime next week I'll move it up to the next peg because they don't need it quite. They don't need quite as much heat as the weeks go by. Haven't had to change out the shavings yet. Obviously they're a little dirty because ducks poop a lot, but this setup has been amazing. So many people were like, don't get ducks, they're so messy. But if you know, find something that works so it's not as messy, then it's really not that big of a deal. I did clean out the paint tray earlier, cleaned out their water. The reason ducks are so messy is because when they eat, they drink. And when they drink, they like to kind of get it everywhere. So, and if it's open where they can get in it, they will get inside. Like if this was open, they would be inside it right now. So we have it closed, but it's still deep enough that they can get their entire bill wet. It's very important that they're able to get their entire bill wet so they can clear their nostrils. And then this catches all the excess food, poop, and water. The other reason that they're messy is because their poop is very wet compared to like a chick's poop. That's because they drink so much water. So yeah, this setup is working quite well. Obviously, I think with 4 in here, it would be fine. With more, I would probably need a bigger bin, and then also as they get bigger, I think they'll need something with a little bit more height. So we haven't quite figured out what we're gonna do. So one of the things we do to spend time with them is we put a towel on our lap over a heating pad so you're nice and warm. They have a nice warm place and they start to associate you with that warmth, safety, all of that. At first, you know, they noticed that it was warm, but if they got off, they would come right back. Whoop, that one's they're going on an adventure. But they will come back when they need that warmth. So just start doing things to associate you with warmth and with food. First few days, they need to have food constantly in with them, but eventually we are going to only do morning and night. And first, we are going to, and for one, they'll associate you with, okay, you're bringing the food in morning, you're bringing the food at night. But I'm also going to do an extra thing, and that is first, before they just get their food bowl, tower, whatever, I'm gonna feed them by hand. We really want friendly ducks. Yes, we're raising them for their eggs. However, we also want them to be, you know, a pet. They're a part of our family. We're gonna care for them. They in turn nourish us. I have young kids, so I want them to be able to, you know, experience the ducks too. So yeah, that is what we're doing so far. Hey y'all, so it's officially day 4 with the ducklings. I did skip day 3. I would say nothing eventful happened. However, I did go pick up 2 more ducklings that are the exact same age from a farm locally who was selling them. So I will show you them later, but the big thing for day 4 is that their brooder needs to be cleaned out. So I'm going to show you just how dirty it is. Today was actually last night is when it started to really smell. And I think it's because now we have the 4. So there's a lot more waste. They're getting the water everywhere. So I am just going to put it in my garden beds. The great thing about duck waste is that it's not too hot for your garden to just put it directly on it without composting it, like you would have to with chicken waste. So we're just putting it directly in the garden, wood shavings and all. So I'm gonna show you the brooder first. I did end up putting some shavings into the pan just to help kind of absorb a lot of the waste, help keep the smell down, and I think it helped a little bit. But with the 4 ducklings, it's just a lot of waste in a small amount of space. And all of these shavings in the middle are wet because even with that, they still make a mess with the water, which is fine. Right here, this dry space is where the heating element was, and you can see that they don't really poop under there. They definitely go outside of where their heat source is to poop. So we're gonna dump all this out and give it a good rinse, and then I will let the ducks have some time in the bathtub. Alright, so the ducks are getting their bath time in. They are officially a week old. All 4 of them are. So you will find conflicting information online about when it is okay to let your ducks swim. So just do your own research and, you know, make that decision for yourself, whatever you feel comfortable with. I was comfortable at a week, especially because it's not too cold here. So I am going to make sure that they are completely dried off when I take them out and get them under the heat source. I'm also not going to let them have a huge amount of time in here. They've been in here with the water for, I don't know, under 10 minutes. So I'll let them have another 5-ish minutes, drain the bathtub, clear it out, and then put them back in the brooder. So the good thing about letting them have their bath time in a bathtub is that there's a drain. So they are going to poop, and when they do, it can all just go down the drain. But it is important for them to have time in the water because it helps them. They have these oil glands that coat their feathers that make them waterproof. Currently, they do not have their feathers, but it helps their bodies recognize and so the oil glands will coat their feathers, which they don't have feathers right now, but they will eventually. And without being exposed to water, there is a possibility for them to not have those oil glands develop properly. So in the future, they won't be kind of waterproof when they do have their feathers. So as you can see, they do have some food that has dissolved into the water, and they're looking all over for it. They definitely love that time. So we'll probably do this again. We're definitely going to do it this weekend outside because it's supposed to be in the 80s, so we won't have to worry about them getting too cold. And they'll also be almost 2 weeks old at that point. But I'm hoping that with the new shavings and the first Saturday lime, because last time I did not have first Saturday lime in there, that we'll be able to go a little bit longer between having to clean out their brooder. It's not really too difficult of a job, it's just, you know, not my favorite. Alright, as you can see, they're back in their freshly cleaned brooder. I also cleaned out their water, and I'm cleaning the food tower that they had. So they're going to use this tray until that's completely clean. So I feel like it's easier to keep clean than this food tray, the red one. And you can see they're preening themselves, so I made sure to dry off any place that was harder for them to reach. They will continue to dry themselves off. They have access to their heat source, and they should be good. So, day 4, happy clean ducks. Alright guys, this is day 5 with the ducklings. Day 2 of having 4 of them, and they get along just fine. I feel like they have already grown like exponentially. The only thing really going on today is that it's a lot more waste that they're producing because there's 4 of them and it's not really a huge space. So I'm in Florida and it doesn't get that cold here even this time of year. It's March. I'm pretty sure the coldest night that we were set to have for a while was last night, and it only got down to 37. After last night, I don't think it's supposed to get lower than like 45. So I think they're not going to be in here for, I mean, they'll be in here for a while, but it's not going to be the full like 8 weeks. We will probably move them out sooner. If we have to, we will just put them out during the day and bring them in at night if it's going to be too cold overnight. They're also obviously eating and drinking more because there's twice as many today. I did, even though I'm talking about, more mess and more Dottie. Oh, we did name 2 of them. This is Daphne, and then this is Dottie. The 2 black ones we have not named because we don't know if they're male or female. I know you want out. I'll let them out in just a second. They're also warming up to us, obviously. And what was I saying? Oh, so even though I'm talking about like they're making more mess, they're eating and drinking more, like that's all fine. But we are still wanting a total of 6. So I've been calling every day the local feed stores to see if they've gotten any ducklings in yet, and all of them have kind of said it'll be any day now, just whenever the post office calls them. One of them, they do have like a tentative date of this Thursday, so we will see. So I'm gonna let them out and play. You can see them run around all together, and then I'll talk to you guys on day 6. Alright guys, so this is day 6 with the ducklings. Second time I had to change out the brooder. That's why I'm all sweaty and gross. It's kind of warm today. And bring it out back, spread it all over the garden, and spray it out, bring it back in. I did today spray the actual brooder with like a thieves cleaner and wipe it down, and then I'm using, instead of the pine shavings, I'm using this Powered by Coffee animal bedding, as well as the First Saturday Lime again. So this is what it looks like. I actually have it deeper than you need it to be. Can't see from that side. I have it deeper than it needs to be. I think it only needs to be like a 1/4 inch deep. I'll have to look again. And I just sprinkled the First Saturday Lime on top. So that is done. It's on how deep it needs to be. Okay, 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. So I guess it's within the range. But obviously it smells good. It smells like coffee. It's made from recycled coffee grounds. So there's no caffeine or anything like that in there. You can find it at Tractor Supply, and I will keep you updated on how the coffee grounds work compared to the pine shavings like I was using yesterday. Pine shavings with 4 ducks in a smaller brooder like this, it was 2 days was the max. If I still just had the 2 ducks and was using the pine shavings, the 2 days probably would have been fine. Now with this, I probably still am going to, depending on how exactly it works, either kind of mix it up at some point during the day, so the soiled bedding gets turned under and the ducks aren't always walking on it, or add a little bit more of this or some pine shavings on top. We'll see how it works. Again, I will keep you posted on that. And I'm still calling local feed stores, Tractor Supply. We have a couple others in town that are like family owned, and seeing if they have gotten ducklings in yet, because we still want to get 2 more. and at this point it's kind of because we are probably not keeping one of the black ones because I think they're both male. So most of where I've called, they will have pecans in stock, but then they're getting like an assortment in, and I don't want pecans. I will probably make a different video on why I chose the breeds that I chose. But the assortment, they don't know what they're getting. So, and they won't know until they get them in. So I have to kind of just be on standby and calling every morning like I am. Tomorrow, one of them actually knows that they're supposed to be getting them tomorrow. So I'm gonna go in the morning, and hopefully they have a breed that I would like to add to my flock. We will see. So, anyways, I'm going to now just let you guys enjoy some duck bath time. So they are all the same age, but the size difference is huge. And I understand they're not all the same breed. However, some of the signs of being a male are larger feet, being taller, and those two black ones definitely have both of those features. And the larger feet, you'll find that the males are clumsier because of that, and they are. So they are having so much fun in the water. I already have this is a heating pad for when they get out, and a towel, of course. I'm going to dry them off, get them nice and warm. Their heat source is still on, so when I put that back in the clean brooder, it will still be producing heat for them. I'm probably just going to let them have just a couple more minutes. I want to say like 15 minutes total is what they got today. Sorry, Daphne just like pecked at Dottie to get her to move. She definitely has the most like assertive personality out of all of them. But anyways, yeah, so it's just important when you get them out, dry them off real good, and then get them warm, and they should be fine. They are, what's today? They hatched on the 1st, which was a Monday, and today is Wednesday, so they're like a week and a half old. You can tell I'm a mom, because I don't even know what time it is. Or what day. Everything just kind of passes me by, but I get everything done that I need to for the most part. Now, when I do fill the tub for them, and you can see Dottie, she cannot touch it all right now. The other ones can when they're over here because it's shallower. So it is important to make sure, especially if you're not giving them a space that they can stand, that they don't have too long in there, because one of the top killers of ducklings is drowning, because they just have too much fun and they just won't stop. Especially if they don't have an easy place to get out. That's why I am here. They're supervised. And they'll be getting out right after I'm done with this video. But just keep that in mind if you give your ducklings some swim time, that they just love it so much that they're not going to pay attention to being overly tired. They definitely need to be supervised while they're swimming. You see Walter? Oh goodness. See, like that black one can still touch over there. Like if the black ones, and even Daphne, most of the time, if they put their feet down, like they will touch. Dottie she's just smaller than all the other ones. See, like he's touching. But he can swim if he wants to. Alright guys, it's officially day 7 with the ducklings, and here's your update. So we had to move them out of the plastic tote and into this large dog crate, which we already had. The tote is great and everything, it's just ducks grow so fast. So they're in here, they have much more room just for themselves, and also headroom. That was a big thing with the tote. They're big enough right now that they can just see clear over the tote if they were on their feeding station. So this took 2 seconds to put together and help with cleaning. I mean, it already has a plastic tray on the bottom because it's a dog crate, but I took one Rubbermaid bin, tipped it over, and then there are Rubbermaid lids around the sides just for them kicking out the shavings, and to make it easier for cleaning, that I can just pull out this bottom red one. We did have to put this cardboard just zip tied to the front because the smallest one, Dottie, there's one of the little openings that is bent, and I mean we can bend it back, but she can fit through it because she's small enough. Give her, you know, another day or two and she won't be able to. But yep, this is our new setup. They still have their little heat table, whatever you want to call it, and an update on the shavings versus the Power by Coffee. I feel like the Power by Coffee is probably better suited for chicks, and it's only because ducks are they get everything so wet that the coffee grounds get wet and then it sticks to them and they just look so messy. I know they're not, it's just coffee grounds, but they look so dirty. And so what we ended up doing with that is we just put pine shavings on top of it, and it was great. It definitely helps with the smell more than just the pine shavings. Now I don't have the coffee grounds in here just because mainly because this one spot, like if they kick the coffee grounds out, it's just gonna be a huge mess to clean up out here. However, when we move them into their own duck house outdoors, we will probably do the coffee grounds with some shavings on top, and then just continue to pile shavings on top and do like a deep litter method outside. So that is the plan, and here in a few minutes I'll let them play and get your last little duck playtime. Week 1 is over. So today is the duck's first day outside.
My flowers right there.
Oh, thanks, baby. We're gonna let them go for a swim, and you have to be careful because this fencing they can get out of. They're still kind of small enough. I know. I'll help you in. Poor Daddy. I know. Woo. So we're gonna let them swim, sit down, and forage, and it's like 85 degrees out, and I can sit. So I'll take them out and make sure that they warm up, and we have a towel ready for when they get out. The water's a little cold, but it's fine. It'll warm up. They're in the sun. They are almost 2 weeks old and absolutely love the water. Obviously, they're ducks. So one thing about ducks is that they like to be clean. They're constantly preening themselves. So yes, they make a huge mess with their water, and their poop is pretty messy because it's so wet, but they will be constantly preening themselves and keeping themselves clean. They're watching you. Y'all, so that was 1 week with ducklings. I hope that you learned a bunch and that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram to keep up with all of our duck antics, because I'm kind of addicted now and we'll be getting more. Obviously, if you have any questions about raising ducklings or anything that I talked about in the video, make sure that you leave a comment and I will get back to you.